Hello and welcome here today, my beautiful dear creative friend, to this little episode of Ida's Art TV. My name is Ida Andersen. I'm an art teacher and artist from Denmark. So I got this question a few days ago from one of you that I would like to talk a little bit about. So let me read that question aloud. It's about how it's about how to move past fears when you are creating. So let me read this aloud for you. So how do I push beyond past fear or fears that makes me put off doing things even when I'm learning to let go of perfection? So that's a really key question when we do our creative stuff, when we draw, when we paint, whatever, sew, sculpture, or whatever it is. We're doing anything really where we have a vision of what we want to achieve. So the thing is that I think there are two sides of that coin. You know, one thing is your vision, your inner visions of beautiful things that you can create, and the other side of the coin, sorry about that, is what you are creating in real life. And when you create in real life, I feel that it's very, very important to be really, really open and gentle with yourself, but you always have to be gentle with yourself. You also have to be gentle with your art. You know, love your art as it is while you are creating. So I've written down 3 points here that kind of, revolving around the same thing, but it's really important. So one of them is one practical thing you can do while you're creating is to really cultivate the mind of declaring a practice free from expectations, and then that can be really hard. I know you start up your precious piece of art and you want to get it right, right? So what I often do, very often, one practical step is you can make a double. In classical art training, you would actually call that a poster study that you make prior to your precious piece of art, but I like to do them at the same time, and I like to call them something more fun and entertaining. So I usually call them the wild twin painting or drawing, or the stunt double. And with the drawing stunt or painting stunt double, you can kind of declare a room for experimentation. So every time there's something you're a little bit in doubt about, and you're a little bit anxious about doing this or that to your painting, you go and do it on the stunt double. The stunt double or the wild twin does the experimentation for you. And the wonderful thing is that actually really nice art pieces can come out of this, but you really need to keep them free from expectations. So one good tip to move past fear of doing something wrong on your painting or your drawing, or not living up to expectations and all that, is simply working on a second kind of wild stunt double piece at the same time. It can be really fun and rewarding. And that leads me to another point that's really important, and that is that when we do art, we are always learning. I'm always learning. Every single time I sit down and do a piece of drawing or painting or whatever, it's new, it's a brand new situation, brand new motif, the colors are new, everything feels new every time I sit down and create. So I've worked really hard, on cultivating a very experimental state of mind when I do art, but at the same time being really, calm and focused. Take deep breaths and relax and take breaks and coming back. And every time I feel really anxious about an actual painting or drawing I'm doing, I go and work a little bit on the stunt double or wild twin, and then things tends to open up. So that gives room to this very, very important concept or mindset of being learning all the time while you're creating, because it's really like that. The horizon is always moving, the end of the rainbow is always moving in front of you while you make art, and that's part of the beautiful thing, right? So one thing, point number one, practice the stunt double or wild twin, meaning you do experimental pieces all the time as you create. That's really helpful. And tip number two is, really try to be mindful about cultivating the learner's mind. Always accept that you are learning. I'm always learning every single time I create. Also, when I create my lessons or whatever, I'm always learning. Often venturing out into things where it's really feeling like I'm in the deep end of the pool. But that's where the fun is, right? That's where you evolve. So try to cultivate that, and also really be mindful about being process oriented. That's my last tip, or it's a very important point, is that when you sit with your art, what you're looking at from A to Z, from the beginning to the end of your art making session, is not the finished piece. So you constantly measure the end goal to what you have in your mind. But the thing is that art has its own life. So it's more like you're creating something that has its own life. It's going to evolve on exactly its own terms. So try to really go to your art with a curious, open and loving mind and see what happens. Be in process and really, say to yourself, okay, I'm really curious what's going to come out here, what's going to happen on this piece of paper or canvas or whatever. And remember that your vision, that's the realm of perfection, but your art making process is the realm of real life. It's something real that's happening on your paper with you, the art materials, all kinds of laws of physics. So many things are at play. It's like seeing something grow, whatever it is, a tree or flower or a child or a pet. Growing up, you just watch it with joy and positive expectations, but you don't really know what you'll get. And that's really a healthy mindset with your art too. It has a life on its own. It's going to evolve, so be in process and relax and welcome what happens on your paper or canvas. So that's 3 points that I'm constantly working on. You can easily slip back into expectation mode, expecting, comparing your grand vision to what's happening on the page. But those are really like 2 different realms. So use your vision as inspiration, but be open and really, welcome whatever happens on the page you're working on, the canvas that you're working on, or paper. So yeah. So let's sum it up just in one-liners. Take steps to declare freedom of experimentation. Do the wild twin or stunt double as you work, so you have, a place you can go and go a little bit crazy and experiment, and be process oriented. Really, take it as it comes, love your art, and remember that it's an evolving thing, and it's only at the very, very end that you see the finished result. And really, first and foremost, let's end with that. Let go of expectations for your art based on your vision. So that's some goals to work on for life as an artist, but it's some really important points. So I hope this could give you a little bit of inspiration about really cultivating an open artist mind. It's something we need to work on constantly. So that was the thoughts I had about this this question of today, how to move past fears, because I really, fears of creating, not doing what you thought you should do and all that, because I really think it's closely connected to our own expectations. So try to, work on that, be mindful, take breaks, and say loving things to your art. So my name is Ida Andersen Lang. If you dropped in to this video late, and leave me a comment below and let me know what you think, and also if you have some thoughts and tips about how you work with your mindset while you're creating art. So it was super fun to talk to you today about these very important things. I'll see you one other time online for lots of creation. Happy painting, happy drawing.